So, welcome back to our top tips on how to use our coaching cards. And the question we're looking at today is, what is a quality you see in others that makes you angry? Where do you see that quality in yourself? So, Gregor, as you know, I had a little reservation about putting this question in the pack because it's using that word angry, which is potentially quite emotive. So,
Yeah.
tell us why you like this question.
We should emphasize that this is one of the cards that was put in there, particularly for self-reflection.
Yeah.
And we know that in terms of emotional intelligence, we are far more likely to build our emotional intelligence competencies if we develop our self-awareness first and foremost. And probably the place we don't want to go to is to look at the negatives in ourselves. And one of the things is anger, because we all get angry, you know, is a natural human thing to do, but we can use that to our advantage. Because if I can perceive a negative quality in someone else, something that makes me angry, perception is projection, which is a law or a rule that came from the psychologist Carl Jung, means that I can only perceive something in another person if I actually have that quality myself. So by saying, what is a quality I see in others that makes me angry, means I have to have that quality myself. I can't
Mhm.
perceive it otherwise.
And it can be quite enlightening, I think.
Hugely.
So if I think of an example, just a personal example, where I've maybe read an email from someone where I feel that they're being quite robust in their response, perhaps having quite a strong opinion on something, maybe not really being very open to doing things in a different way, or at least that's how I'm reading it. Well, what does that tell me? If I'm seeing that as making me angry, what does that tell me about me? Do I have a tendency to do that at times? Yeah, maybe I can do that at times. What are those times? What is it that makes me more likely to do that? And how might the other person feel when they read an email that I might write that's like that?
Yeah. And actually, that goes to an earlier video we made, which was, what might trigger you to do that. So if you can recognize it, that thing being opinionated can make you a bit angry or frustrated,
Hmm.
then you must do that. But I'm sure you don't do it all the time.
No.
So there will be something that will trigger you to be opinionated. It's like I get really annoyed when people are arrogant. So I must be able to be arrogant. I don't think I'm arrogant all the time. I don't think I could have this job if I was arrogant all the time. But there are certain things I am probably arrogant about. In fact, I know there are. There are certain things that I feel really maybe overly confident about. So that really helps my self-awareness. And said, okay, what is it that triggers me to do that? When does that occur for me? Okay, do I want to do something about that? It
Yeah.
develops my self-awareness. That's why it's in as a reflective practice question.
Yeah. And it's just, an opportunity for you to be really honest with yourself.
We've 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 used anger in there because it's something we want to address. We think people we want to address, but we've got to realize that this is shadow,
Hmm.
and shadow just means things we're unaware of. It doesn't have to be a dark shadow like anger. It can be a golden shadow, like
Hmm.
funny. So if I find someone else funny, that must mean that I'm funny sometimes. you know so
Absolutely.
so when are the times I'm funny? Maybe I can leverage that. So it's just a way of demonstrating shadow and how you can use this rule of perception as projection to develop your self-awareness
But actually, you could take that word angry and use any word in there,
any at all.
any emotion, and it's about having that intrigue, that curiosity about, oh, what am I feeling in response to this person? Where does that come from?
In fact, I mean, I've used it as a coaching tool, but also some psychotherapists would have people keep a daily diary where they reflect on just observing what is one quality I observe in someone else today. Okay, now reflect on when do you demonstrate that quality,
Yeah.
good or bad. It's a really, really, it's quite a deep self-reflective exercise. But if we're maybe thinking about more mature leaders that really want to dig into the self-awareness development, then this is a good question for them.
So should you wish to purchase our coaching question cards, email us at info@thecoachingquestion.com, or you can contact us through our LinkedIn page, The Coaching Question.